I have short of time, so I will be fast. Look, my hands. And I try to introduce you how you can transform your PC with Linux operating system to a gaming machine. So let's get it on. Who is that? Just a sec. Okay. My name is Gergely Rakosi. I'm from Hungary. I'm a Fedora ambassador. I specialized in Fedora project with the games. So I test many games with Wine natively, and of course emulated games too. Okay. So in shortly, I will introduce how can I connect it with Fedora, with games, and this crazy thing, and why is it so important nowadays? Why is it gaming important? We look around the opportunities, how we can play, and which are the requirements for that. And we check some demo if we have times. But if we run out of the time, then tomorrow will be a workshop. So we can, I will show you everything. And at the end, we check some useful programs. So, bad way, come on, thanks. Okay, so this was 10 years ago. Nobody think on Linux we can play games. Hardcore games, not like that. And the other thing is, the Linux gamers are playing like this. Okay, my first server was a Red Hat server. And one day, I saw a short sign on the Red Hat page, Fedora Core, desktop Linux operating system, released. So I tested. I install it. I get the usual procedure when I change from Windows to Linux. I have some headache and long night, and you know that. Okay, I look for games because I was a gamer. So I look for simple games. And in Fedora Linux, you can find many, many small games which are simple, but yeah, it's very simple. So I look forward. One day I find Wine. With Wine, you can run Windows games on Linux. It was not really easy to configure and use it, but after a few weeks, I look Wine a functioning one, so it's worked. And later, big companies like Valve released Steam, and we have Desura and Steambox. What are our targets with this funny thing? As we know what is coming next, which we are not calling in name, but it's called Linux Desktop here. We are waiting this. We want to install Fedora operating system to all PCs. It's possible, but it's very hard. And of course, we have, in Fedora, we have workstation, server, and cloud system. So we can decide the way. If we want to use to desktop, then we choose the workstation. If we want to use to share and running web servers, web application, then we choose the cloud one. And of course, the server one if you want to serve small and medium business companies. Why I choose Fedora? Because Fedora have a strong and convergent community, and it's a fun. And this X, it means you can find anything else in Fedora. So it turns to you. Yeah, why we need this games section? Because if we use Linux for a primary desktop, not secondary, primary desktop, and we need these things. We need to use the internet, all of special Flash and Adobe and any applications and plugins. We want to use email, and if we are in a company, then we need groupware. For example, shared user database, shared calendar, and shared contact list. The next one is the multimedia. Of course, we want to play music, video files, and any applications which are a requirement, some special video drivers. We can edit video files, or we can edit music, or write music on Linux. We need Office programs, which are default in any distribution. And of course, we want to play games. Why I choose Fedora? Because it's very expensive. You can get there from our booth, so you can pay with me, for me, of course. Fedora is a mess of extraordinary people, like me. So if you want, then just easily connect to Fedora. Anyway, Fedora is a shiny toy distribution. It's full of extras, and it's important. It's a bleeding-edge distribution. So you can always find the latest drivers and latest programs inside Fedora. And of course, Fedora has the best programmers, developers, packagers, maintainers, leaders, and promoters. So I think it's a good step to join Fedora. OK, the hard way. Software requirements. First, you need a Linux operating system, of course, with a 3D support. You decide which distribution you want to use. There are 3 types of distribution. Choose whatever you want. After that, we need a kernel, wine, and GPU driver source, because sometimes need to patch the kernel or the GPU driver. I prefer if the GPU driver you can download from the developer site, so I prefer this one. And if you want to make some experiment about open source NVIDIA driver, it takes a long time to make a game working. So I don't prefer the open source driver. And if you have a family, kids, wife, and you are an entrepreneur like me, then buy a console example. It's easier. OK. This is not too good news, because we need the hardware. So if you want to play games, then you need a very good hardware. And the gaming is an expensive game. So you need a good CPU, a good GPU, and more RAM. So yeah, you need money, definitely. You need to decide AMD or AT or NVIDIA card. Who has NVIDIA card in their PCs? Who has NVIDIA card? 1, 2, 3. OK, who has Intel card? OK, who has AMD card? Oh, it's equal. So, OK, in a workshop tomorrow, NVIDIA card is preferred. So, sorry. So it takes much time and money. Think about you want to play games on Linux. Opportunities. OK, we can play free games, which can install it by YAM. This is a simple way. We can install native paid games, but it costs money. We can use emulated games. It means we need an emulator, for example, DOSBox. We can run Windows games, but we need a good hardware. We can use Humble Bundle, where we can find many games in one package. Of course, we can find Steam for Linux. We can find Azure for Linux. We can find games on Kickstarter. And the big names is CryEngine, Unreal Engine 4.1, and Unigine, and Unity 3D. These are hardly developed engines, which are released in this year or the next year. OK. So let's see the native free games. As I said, there are the easy command is yum install and the game name. And if you give this command in the console, then we can play simple games like this. So it's usual, it's platform games. We can get native free paid games from the developer side, but you can find some developers, companies, but it's not really a good business because no one knows the exact name of the developer. So it's easier to get the games from for example, from Steam. OK, who knows this game? Who played this game ever? Lost Vikings? No one? Yeah, thanks. So with DOSBox, we can use old games, as you can see. But these games are mostly better like the nowadays shooter games. So I prefer those games. OK, the other one is MAME. MAME is an emulator, emulate the original cabinet engines, cabinet hardwares. So you can play ROMs on your PC. For example, Star Wars or Metal Slug. It's big names in the oldie times. And the other solution is you can run Sony PlayStation emulator. We have Sony PlayStation and Sony PlayStation 2 emulator. The only bad thing, you need to install it from source. So you need to know these three commands. It's configure, make, install. And if you know these three commands, then you can install Sony PlayStation emulator. OK, games with Wine. Basic command is Wine and executable name. Why good Steam is for us? Because with Steam, you can play 3A games. So the latest Windows games, which are very eye candy and give a very good gaming game feeling. But sometimes Wine has problems, then we need to contact with the developers, but before we need to debug Wine. It's not too easy. If you are a programmer, you can look, you can see the errors, the programming language on the screen. For me, that is fully Chinese, so I don't understand. OK, with Wine, you need to know 2 or 3 configuration tools. One is Wine CFG, Wine configuration tool. Here you can set the graphical and sound settings, and you can set the application independent settings. So, for example, you can set for Far Cry a different environment, a different Windows version, different DLL files, different directories, a different resolution for the desktop. So you can set everything which are basically reachable in this configuration tool. Okay, the other one is the registry settings. You can reach with that command. If someone uses Windows, then it's a usual registry platform. So you can set the registry settings under the Wine configuration. Why is it important? Some games require different direct draw settings or GLSL settings, or need the mouse override option. So this is an important thing. All of the useful registry keys you can find on wiki page on the Wine HQ. It's more than 60 registry keys Wine have, so it's long list. These tools makes Wine running easier. The first one is Wine Tricks. You must have this utility if you want to run games on Linux. You can download DLL files, Visual C compiler files, and OpenGL and sound DLLs. So this is important. If you don't want to hack this Wine program, then you can use Play on Linux. It's a simple GUI for Wine. So on Play on Linux, there are predefined configuration for games. So you can easily just select the games and click to run, and the games will run. That's all. And if you have a question, then you can check the Wine HQ site. So Humble Bundle. Humble Bundle is a interesting thing because you can pay for a package whatever you want, and you get a bunch of games. And if you pay more than the usual price, then you get more games. So it's a little bit danger for the money. Steam for Linux. This is the big shot, the last year from Valve. Steam is a content delivery system, not just a gaming platform. You can play videos, you can use it for a forum, for a chatting, for a friend finder, for a multiplayer game, for batch system. You can vote for new games. It's called green light. So if you have a favorite game and you want to see it on Linux, then you can vote it. And if we have enough votes, then the developer must make it on Linux. The only problem with Steam, you can easily spend your money. Just 4 clicks and your money is gone. For example, 10 euros, 30 euros, and so on. So it's easily spend your money. How you can install Steam? You have 3 possibilities. The first one is from Spot repository. The second is my favorite. You can download the deb files from Steam homepage. You can extract the deb file, and put everything in place. And if you done this, then Steam automatically updates itself. Okay, and the third one is you can install it from the RPM Fusion repository with that command. So it's easy to install Steam. Okay. You can use Steam with Wine. If you use Steam with Wine, then you can run Windows games. Any Windows games. The only problem, you need to see what Steam is write out from the console. So you need to run Steam in console. And if you see the error messages, then you can repair the missing files. Okay, the other solution is Desura. Desura is not really big like Steam. It's a smaller platform, but it's the same. It's the same like Steam. You can find the same option, the same services in Desura, like in Steam. Okay, if you on the Kickstarter webpage, then you can find games. So here you can pay for a developer, and if this developer reaches the target amount of money, then they need to develop to Linux. Okay. Yeah, the big one, Unreal Engine 4. We have a working Unreal Engine 4. Everybody here who see the Unreal Engine, the working version? No one? Okay, how much time we have? It's about to finish? Okay. So tomorrow on the workshop, I will show you the working Unreal Engine. So in this year, we will have Unreal Engine released. So it's a big shot. And in this, and of the end of this year or the next year, we will have CryEngine. So we are a good way. I finish it, and I will continue on the workshop tomorrow. So thank you for your attention.
Thank you.